Hey everybody, welcome back to Conejo Valley Visionaries, a podcast spotlighting the inspiring individuals behind your favorite Conejo Valley businesses. I'm your host, Christina Denstead. In this episode, I sit down with Jeff Bozz and Mekela Swing, two of the co-founders of the Pickleball Athletic Club in Thousand Oaks. Jeff and Mekela share their personal journeys and the story of how they turned a passion for pickleball into a thriving indoor facility that's quickly becoming a hub for players of all ages and skill levels. Whether you're a pickleball enthusiast like me or an aspiring entrepreneur, you won't want to miss this one. If you enjoy this episode and find value in the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review and rating. This helps more people find the podcast, and therefore each story can reach more folks in the Conejo Valley. Hey, Jeff and Mekela, welcome to Conejo Valley Visionaries. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Christina, for having us.
Okay, so I am a recent pickleball convert. And I think I started to explore pickleball as you guys were starting to promote the opening of the space back in the early spring of 2025. So I am really excited to talk to you guys about the Pickleball Athletic Club because I now understand the addiction. It is real to pickleball. And I'm so curious how you guys got here. So what we like to do though on this podcast is kind of go back to the beginning. And I'm curious, what did each of you want to be when you grew up, and what did you end up studying in school or pursuing in those early years?
Wow, that's a good question.
Do you want to go, Jeff?
Oh my gosh. I can't be so cliche and say an astronaut, right?
That is also very popular.
You know what's funny is I was very heavily involved in sports growing up. So if I could turn back time, I wanted to be a pro athlete. And at the time, it was either going to be soccer or baseball or both. I was going to do a Bo Jackson and try both. But if I could turn back time, I would have just focused on one sport and just kind of gone with the wave and see how far I could have gone. So it was probably a professional athlete when I was a kid, either baseball or soccer.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Mekela, what about you?
I wanted to be a veterinarian. I loved animals. I grew up in Maine, and I could say we probably had 10 to 12 to 15 animals in our household at one time. So we would have like 9 cats, 4 dogs, a couple hamsters, a horse down the street. So I really wanted to be a vet. And then if that wasn't going to happen, it was a marine biologist. But I was not about to go to school for all of that.
Mekela, that takes a lot of schooling, Mekela.
I know. I didn't want to do that.
I like it though, but you liked animals, obviously.
Yes. And I still do. I have 3 hairless cats.
I love that.
And they have to be hairless because my husband and my son are allergic to all animals. So
something exciting is coming to Westlake Village this summer, and you're hearing it here first. After the incredible response to our Female Founder Series event in March, I'm teaming up with Neighborly to bring you more in-person opportunities to connect, get inspired, and try some delicious Neighborly eats. In just a moment, I'll share how you can be the first to grab a ticket. So what did you end up going and, pursuing? It sounds like it was not in the vet or marine biology field, but...
No, once I left Maine, I moved to San Diego. I kind of didn't really know yet, but then I went back to school for fashion. And then I went into that direction. So I became a visual merchandiser for Kitson. It was the hot spot on Robertson back in the day. Yes.
Paris Hilton was like go-to retail spot, of course.
That was it back then. And then I also worked for French Connection as their visual merchandiser there. And then after that, my husband and I started working together. He had already had a outdoor advertising and out-of-home agency in Hollywood. And I was pregnant with our second baby. And I said, I'm not traveling anymore and you need me on your team. So I started working with him, a lot of fashion clients, putting them on billboards all across the country. And that was happening up until a year ago when PAC started developing. And I said, I don't have time for both. So I'm going to go take this little baby and put all of my time and effort into PAC and developing that. So no more swing media. Now we're on to Pickleball Athletic Club.
That's it.
Fantastic. That's a really interesting journey. What about you, Jeff?
Oh, Christina, you're going to make me talk about myself.
Well,
how long is this show?
This is so exciting.
Can we talk for 3 hours, please? I have a very colorful background, but I'm going to condense it. Pretty much since I was 18 out of high school, I got into real estate, residential real estate with my mom. Um, did all the foreclosures back in the day and just kind of pursued that for the next 20 plus years. And then I had an interest in entrepreneurship. My father had owned restaurants and liquor stores when I was growing up, so I always had a fascination for that. And I had opened a chain of tanning salons in 2001 and rode that wave back when tanning was cool and fun and a hip, and had a really good fun run with that. Dabbled in the entertainment industry. I produced a couple feature films. I had an event throwing company, so we'd throw, big parties at like the Playboy Mansion and airplane hangars and clubs throughout Los Angeles. And then a few other things, and ended up in the pickleball realm, So, yeah.
You're a man of many interests, it sounds
That's
like.
it.
Did you grow up out here in the Conejo Valley or
So I
somewhere
was
else?
born and raised in Los Angeles in
Okay.
the foothills. So La Crescenta, a lot of people don't know La Crescenta, so I always say Glendale, the hills of Glendale. But yeah, I'm a local kid, young surfer type growing up, and I don't do it as much anymore. But yeah, epitome of
Okay.
California kid.
So tell me then, for both of you, where did pickleball come in the mix? It sounds like the idea for PAC started in earnest maybe last year, but was there an interest in the sport prior to that?
Mekela, do you want to go?
But me.
You're
I
passing the
I will
baton here.
start. Before we discussed and we decided to move forward to building Pickleball Athletic Club PAC. I had never ever touched a pickleball paddle. Obviously, I knew there was a lot of popularity. It was very lucrative, and I was like, all right. And I grew up playing a lot of sports, so I'm like, I'm okay with it. Like, I'll learn it, but I had never picked up a paddle, so I could say probably I've been playing for about a month. And I have
That time
finally,
was
She's good.
boarding.
She is really
yes,
good. You can definitely tell she's
I'm
athletic.
gonna,
She's picked it up
I,
well.
yes, and
Yeah.
I'll do tournaments and things. So no, I had never picked up a paddle. After all of the work and the build out and, the business size has settled down a tad, I was able to get out on the courts. And like you said, I can see the reason why people love it so much. So I am there. I'm actually going to be playing all day Thursday. See me on the courts. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get better.
She's definitely one of the most intense ones on the courts. We
Oh, I'm
hear
the loudest.
when
Yeah.
she's playing, I hear her on the far side of the facility in my office. But you
I
know what?
can't
That's
help
all part
it.
of it. It's great. It's great.
Yes, yes.
I have a tennis background growing up, so my best friend, who's one of our partners in this botch, been best friends since seventh grade. I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was, but we both played in high school and outside of high school just for fun. And so I love paddle sports. Wasn't too familiar with pickleball, but over the years, I mean, we played pickleball 15 years ago, 20 years ago, just dabbling around before anyone was even knew what it was, even though it's been out since 1965, right? But which is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And it just kind of shifted. One time about, I would say a year and a half ago, picked up a paddle. The girl I'm dating now was a avid pickleball player, and so she got me to get a membership with her at a different club. And sorry, the other club, Mekela.
The other one, do not.
And we just started playing on a daily basis. And it's just, I think that's the appeal, because I haven't touched my tennis racket as much as I love tennis. I literally have not touched a tennis racket in almost 2 years now. I mean, haven't even looked back. So I think that's the appeal of the sport too, and why it's grown so fast is because it doesn't matter young, old, your ability, whether you've played sports before, whether you've never played sports, you can pick up a paddle and have a great time the first time. So you drink that Kool-Aid and then you become obsessed about it and then you can't stop playing. So That's where we're at.
Well, also like the community is just great. I mean, I went to we had hosted a rookie mixer for beginners, for people that maybe were a little too shy or too timid to do open play. So, and I own the club, and I'm like, I'm not going on those courses. I don't even know what I'm doing. So I attended our rookie mixer, and I was able to find some really great ladies and exchange some phone numbers. And actually within the few hours, they were like, hey, can you play on Tuesday? Can you play on whatever? And it actually got me out of my shell. And I was like, yes, I made it a point to make it to the facility to play. And everyone has just been so sweet and so patient, and just like it's so inviting, so it just makes it so much easier to just get out there every day
too, Christina. To touch on it briefly, it just my partner Vach and I, we've been blown away by how nice everyone is. Like Mekela said, it's a crazy industry. Before we opened, we were hiring coaches, and so we were at a hotel lobby, and we probably saw 50 coaches in the area, and everyone was like, it's almost like they were gunning for someone else. Oh, you should hire them, instead of me, because they were so polite, so nice. But now we've gotten we have 10 coaches now. We found the most amazing director of pickleball, Gus Gugas. And so, but everyone knows everyone. It's such a small knit community, and it's such a nice community. I mean, I haven't experienced that in any other sports or business really out there.
Yeah, I really resonate with a lot of what you're saying, because that's been my experience too. Not only is it addictive, but also the social aspect of it. I remember I started by I took a class through the Conejo Valley Parks and Rec in February, a beginner class. And one of the first things the coach said was, it's a very social sport. And I did not know what that meant, because I had also played tennis growing up. And then now I understand I have all these text chains with all of my pickleball buddies from different courts and different phases of life. So it is a very interesting community of people. But so you pick up a racket, a paddle, oh my gosh, 2 years ago. When did the idea to build a gigantic indoor pickleball facility in Thousand Oaks come to be?
Well, we had to find a way to, feed our addiction, right? Okay. So what better way than to have it with us 24/7? So again, Vach, my best friend, we've always wanted to do a business together, and we've vetted, I don't know, hundreds of businesses over the years, and just always found holes, and for whatever reason, hadn't pursued one. And one day we're sitting around, and we just you couldn't turn on your phone or computer without seeing pickleball, right? Social media, this and that. We're like, well, what about an indoor facility? You've heard about the parks and recs and this and that with the facilities, but no one really had done something cool and special like that in California. I mean, there was a few little ones here and there. And the dynamic of this whole thing is we had brought it, when we had brought it to Mekela and Jason and Maj, we all instantly shared the same excitement, the same vision of it, and everything just really fell into place. From the time we had the business plan to sitting down with Mekela, Jason, and Maj, to raising the money, signing the lease, that was probably 4 months from start to finish. So it all kind of fell into place, happened quickly. And I think it's because we all really share the same excitement, vision, and, we all have different knowledges and things we bring to the table, but we work really well together.
Well, and I think also, like, as far as having an indoor facility, I mean, a lot of people think Southern California has beautiful weather, and it does. However, pickleballers like to play when they're supposed to play. And, there's the natural wind can be a factor, or the sun. There's a lot of our older clientele, they just don't want to, it might be beautiful outside, but they want to be standing in the sun for 2 hours playing. The rain, we do have a rainy season in the winter, and a lot of people kind of shift away from pickleball maybe just December and January, because they don't have, there's a lot of outdoor courts, but there aren't a lot of indoor facilities. So as far as having that's what makes us also stand out. There's nothing in the Conejo Valley that is indoor. So, I mean, there's no competition as far as courts. There's a need for courts. There's not enough courts for the amount of players there are. But as far as standing, alone in this, having an indoor facility is just like yeah, that's we're
The
here. Like
demand, yeah,
every single day you can play, you know?
the demand certainly outweighs the supply, right? I know the cities are kind of pulling the reins back on building any more outdoor pickleball because of the noise and this and that, whatever. And so I think we timed this, perfectly. And I think we're at the beginning of this wave where it's just going to keep going and going and going. And, again, it's like Mekela touched on, it's a very social sport. And so you go to the park, you play, but then what do? It's hot outside or cold outside. You get in your car and you go home, you say your goodbyes. So we wanted to create an element where people can kind of come in, play for a couple hours, and then we have a beautiful lounge, beautiful lobby, music, other things to do. And we want them to stay and hang out with their friends for a few hours after or before.
Yeah. It feels like you're creating a lifestyle around it, not just the courts.
Yes.
Why the Conejo Valley to open your
Mm.
your first, I'm imagining first of maybe many locations?
First of many. Yes. Why,
Yes,
Jeff?
first of many for sure. This wasn't, I don't want to, we have been looking in other areas. We were looking in the Valley, Woodland Hills, Valencia, Burbank. We had other locations kind of on our radar. And so it wasn't specifically Conejo Valley, but again, we looked at a lot here. We love the area. It's densely populated. There's a lot of pickleball players out here. We toured all the parks around here, and it seemed like all the courts were full all the time. Compared to some of the other more city areas like Woodland Hills or Van Nuys or North Hollywood, there's just so many parks here that have pickleball, and it seemed very popular. And then it comes down to, we probably saw 20 plus locations. A lot of them were in this area, but then everything has to check the boxes, right? You have to have the square footage, you have to have the lobby, a room for the events, and then most importantly is your pillar spacing in the warehouse, because you have to fit X amount of courts in a space and you want to maximize your square footage. So there's a lot of elements that go into actually finding the right space. And this happened to kind of check most all, if not all the boxes. And we're like, let's get in and do it. So
And I feel like there's so many people that they're like, oh, let's just get a warehouse and let's do this. And it's not as easy as you think.
right, right.
Since we've even opened Pact, we've looked at other places because we're looking at opening a second and third location. It's very difficult to get everything that checks the boxes. So,
First one's always the
I
hardest
mean,
too, right? You
it
learn
is,
a
but
lot
we
on the
lucked
first one.
up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, learn a lot, but I love our location. It's
Yeah.
technically industrial, but this is the most beautifully tree-lined industrial area I've ever seen. So, with great parking and amazing neighbors as far as businesses.
Yeah.
So we are in a great spot.
We're a block away from Ventu Park, which is one of the most popular pickleball places. So
Mhm.
people, obviously we have so many drop-ins from there. They play in the morning, come over here in the afternoon if it's too hot, vice versa. So yeah, the
Well, we have
location
the
is so
Dodgers
central.
training camp across the street. We've
Mhm.
had a lot of people come across and even just shop in our pro shop and just while their kids are practicing. And then we have the sports academy right up the street. And so we have a lot of athletic people around in the block.
Don't you run to work every day, Mekela? Don't you? You're very
Yes.
athletic
Yeah.
and run.
Mhm. All 30 miles.
I do. I do appreciate though the idea that somebody played in the morning and then comes and plays in the afternoon, because that is not unusual. And I think that is one of the wildest things about that I've learned about pickleballers, including myself. And one of the problems I have is you can then play a lot of hours in one day if you make the time for it.
Christina, it's
Yes.
nuts. Just yesterday, we had a foursome in here, and they booked 2 hours and ended up staying 5.5. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It's crazy. They just booked in the afternoon and then went through our open play. I mean, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
people love it, and time seems to fly. Like you set up, 2 hour
It does.
increments. You play those 2 hours, and you should be exhausted, but I don't know what's keeping you awake and ready to go. But you want to keep going again and going. So
Right.
it's a great thing to see.
So tell me, you mentioned that I think you said 9 courts. Is
Yes.
that right? There's a
Yes.
lounge, there's an event space. Sounds like there's a pickleball shop or a pro shop.
Yes.
How does it work? What is the kind of a pitch? It's a membership. What do how are people like engaging with the space?
Yes.
Well, we first, it is open to everyone. So you do not need a membership to play at the Pickleball Athletic Club. You can absolutely come in and do a drop-in. You could book a court on our app and just play for the 2 hours and be done with it if you so choose. So, and that's what we really want people to understand. It's, it looks amazing and it has a nice luxurious feel and amazing sofas and chandeliers, but you don't have to be a member to play. It's not exclusive. So there are many options. There's open play options. There are court options. So um, come in. You can also take advantage of the pro shop. You can also, anyone can book our lounge, the Bainbridge Lounge, for a special event. So say you have your son's birthday party. It's just like going to a bowling alley or going to Dave and Buster's. You can say, oh my gosh, we want to play pickleball for 2 hours. Let's go get the lounge, hang out, play ping pong. It's attached to your own courts. We provide paddles and balls. You can add a coach if you want to. We have catering options. So there's a lot for everyone. And it's not, there, if you want to play, if you've never played, you still have options.
It's great for company, retreats. We've done corporate accounts for parties, and we've done birthday parties. We have a wedding party, believe it or not, taking the space over. They're bringing 100 people here and doing a partial buyout. So it really appeals to everyone, that wants to get in, be a little bit active. And we want to give that country club feel, but without all the restrictions, right? So, we are membership driven. Our membership is, $219 a month. However, if you want to drop in, our courts range from $40 to $60 an hour, which equates to $10 to $15 a person an hour. So it's very affordable for everyone to come in and play for an hour or two. We've got a lot of other amenities. We have a stretch and recovery zone with the compression sleeves and massage chair. So there's a lot of things to do outside of pickleball. Like Mekela had mentioned, in our Bainbridge Lounge, we've got ping pong and foosball and shuffleboard. So, while some people are on the courts, others might want to be in the lounge playing those things. So it's really something for everyone.
And we have reflexologists there. If you
I feel like we're on an infomercial.
Yeah, you get 50% off. Just kidding. No, but we have a reflexologist that's coming in as well. So yes, she can work on hands and feet and in the stretching recovery area, especially for pickleballers or, people that maybe still have they get tennis elbow, or they're just coming off of a surgery for their knee or their hip or whatever it may be. So we also have that little perk that's coming in a couple of weeks.
Don't miss your chance to snag your ticket to our first event at Neighborly in Westlake Village. Here's how. Follow at Conejo Valley Visionaries on Instagram and then send me a DM and mention Neighborly, and I'll send you the link that gets you early access to tickets before they are available to the general public. I look forward to seeing you this summer. And I noticed on your website, you've got some kind of like blog content there, and the latest post really intrigued me about pickleball injuries, because I have been, I've fallen to those twice at this point, hip flexor. And it's really been extremely frustrating, because when you're in this addicted stage, you want to be playing all the time and you get hurt and these things kind of take you out. Is that something, I've seen within the kind of offering that you have? You're doing leagues, you're doing kids camps, you're doing all this stuff. Is there also some version of like teaching people how to avoid these injuries, or is that more kind of like the content that's available online?
That's a great idea. I'm gonna write that one
That's
down.
put that down.
I'm writing that down.
I know. I will be sign up first on that list, because honestly, yes, and I've heard I'm not the only one who's getting injured. And, as somebody who is athletic and played tennis before, and to this day, is still very active, it's been really interesting that I have now pulled these hip flexors, one on each side, and it keeps me out for a couple of weeks at this point. That's age too. But, I'm interested in like those, when you're in that stage of playing a lot, but still learning, like, how do you avoid that? I think
and people, like, I don't stretch. I should stretch as I'm getting older.
I was just going to say, stretching, I see the pros.
Recovery is just as important as playing, right? So again, that's why we created the stretch and recovery area. We've got a lot of different equipment back there for either pre or post playing. we're going to be doing, we teamed up with someone that's going to be doing a yoga and pickleball thing. So we're going to do some yoga stretching on a court in the morning. And then after an hour of stretching and yoga, we're going to do an hour of playing. So as we grow this, we've only been open for about a month, but as we kind of grow, our programming is going to become a little more robust, and we're going to be offering a lot of different programs, for different various things and needs. So.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you all are, really out there at this stage, like trying a bunch of different things, or not necessarily trying, but at least, we've got a lot of different programs going on, which is really smart, kind of see how people react and respond to it.
Yeah.
So you've been open, you said, about a month. What are you most proud of so far?
I'm most proud of how well Mekela's doing at pickleball. I would have bet against it, but she's doing well.
I told you I'm athletic. You know this. I know. He's excited to be my partner when we get out.
All of our partners, like we've all been friends for 20, 25 years plus. So, that's where all our sarcasm and jokes go. But it's like, it's great. It's cliche to say, well, you can't work with your friends, but it works out great, right? We all bring something special to the table, but we all work well together. So that's where the sarcasm
comes from. And I also think, well, there's some, we've had some difficult times, that have definitely hit us here and there, whether it's, we're putting the courts in and then something happens and we have to, shift or get the court guys back, or, we're waiting on permits, or we have the bathrooms, there's leaks in there. There's so many different things that have happened where we have to shift, or we have to think positive. We have to just move forward and get it fixed. And we all have different personalities, but I think we all handle it really, really well. And we don't, I don't know, just kind of sit back and have the poor me's. We just kind of like rally the team and just get it done. I mean, we do a good job. I'm really proud of us for that.
We had our beautiful courts just painted, and within a few days from that, we had our sprinkler system sprung a leak, and our courts hadn't sealed yet. And so there was literally 15 buckets, Home Depot buckets on the courts, and we're mopping it every 5 minutes to try and keep it, confined. So a lot of things. So for me, I think the most rewarding, like Mekela said, waiting on plans and permits and final this and that. So it's really just the day that we had that grand opening, right? So all your hard work, working at it for a year since we signed the lease, a lot of ups and downs, but to actually see it come through and to actually see people's smiles is the most rewarding thing. Like, you created something that people thoroughly enjoy, and they come in and say, this is the most beautiful space we've ever seen. This doesn't look like a pickleball facility. You guys did the most incredible thing. And they're thanking us for bringing this into the Valley, because they're like, you guys are doing a great thing for the community. And so for me, and I think I speak on behalf of most of us, I think that's very rewarding when you see how happy you make the community and people that walk through your doors.
Yeah.
Well, you sort of touched on some of the challenges, but has there been one that has stood out the most so far? It sounds like a year from signing lease to opening is actually not very long.
Yeah, but we have no patience, Christina. You're dealing with 5 people with 0 patience.
Yeah.
When it comes to this.
We're like, I think, what's the most, what was the most rewarding? Was that the question?
This one was, what's been the most challenging? And maybe not even in the lead up to it, but as of now, is there something that has stuck out so far? Or are you still kind of in that smooth sailing phase?
I said it before, like any kind of business that you open, you're going to learn the hard way on your first one, which means you're going to overspend. You might make mistakes that cost you. And so even though all of us have owned and ran businesses in the past, we haven't done a pickleball, right? So you have the mechanics, you understand the business side of it, but certain things like our fencing, or like the courts, or, the steps we should take, we should have painted first. We should have painted the stripe on the wall before we did the floors, so we don't have to cover all the floors. And it takes us 2 months to paint a stripe around the building. So there's certain things that we that we learn as we go. But
that's such a good tangible example. I love that. I hope that is like on your,
yeah, so
procedure document for next
you
time.
see that black stripe behind Mekela's head? It goes around the whole facility, and we decided to paint that after our beautiful floors were put down. So
Jeff did it all by himself.
Well, I helped in it, but so like we live and learn, right? There's a few other things like that we won't make the same mistake on number 2 on, but it happens. I think in any business, it helps you grow and learn, and hopefully you don't make the same mistake twice.
I don't think there's been anything that's been devastating or like that we haven't been able to handle, or like just within a day or so, like gotten it completely like taken care of.
Yeah.
So so fingers crossed it continues.
Okay, yes, I know. We're going to keep that good juju.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned location number 2 and potentially 3. What is the vision for Pickleball Athletic Club?
We are looking the vision. We want it. We're looking at other locations. We're looking at Northridge, North Hollywood,
Valencia,
and
Northridge, Woodland Hills, Burbank,
maybe
North Hollywood,
Palm Springs.
Yeah. Look, our philosophy is, we've said this before, but we're not looking to be, there's going to be these big franchises that come in that have 20, 30 court facilities, and they're going to open a dozen of them and have 400 courts, but we're not looking to compete with them. We're looking to kind of be the more boutique-y, upscale, but open to everyone, where you walk in and you see the vibe with the chandeliers and the furniture, and really put the attention to details above and beyond, so, and be more boutique-y, where we want to be like the Equinox gym of gyms. So not necessarily the largest, but when you walk through our doors, you're in a Pickleball Athletic Club. So we want to set the bar high on that. So that's kind of our goal. We want to open a handful. I think our goal is 5 or 6 in kind of the Valley area here, maybe branch out, like Mekela said, Palm Springs, maybe Orange County, we'll
maybe
just kind
North
of
Ventura County.
Get a foothold here on the market and open them strategically and in great locations. And, hopefully people will love them and we can continue doing it.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I love to hear it. And do you see the trend of pickleball still on this upward trajectory? You were sharing that you think that we're at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to
my great ideas come one time. If I miss that,
it's over.
I'm sorry. No, so I think we're at the tip of the iceberg, meaning like, this has become, I can't even explain it, but I think we all know, you turn on any social media, you see it. What's great in the whole celebrity and athlete world is, you see these celebrities and athletes playing it all the time, even athletes that are currently baseball professionals or tennis professionals or golf professionals. On their off time, they're playing pickleball, so, and I think it's, now it's in the collegiate realm. I believe in 2028, it's going to be an exhibition sport in the Olympics, not official, but exhibition. They want to test it, see the reaction, which we know it's going to be huge. So the next Olympics, I think it's going to be in after 2028. And I think it's going to keep growing and growing. I think it's here to stay.
Okay.
You cut out, but yes, I think the too long don't read is that the pickleball is here to stay, and it's only going to continue to grow. So that's exciting.
Well, even on Father's Day, you're seeing dads or families coming in with their kids that are 8 or 9 or 10, and they're playing together. So the younger generation, we're having a summer camp right now. 6-year-olds are playing, and they're interested, and they're good. It doesn't take long to get really good at this sport. So for them, PAC is going to be the club where they grew up playing, and one of these days they're going to bring medals home for us. So it's just it's really exciting to see that people of all ages play. Yes, and they're just happy. It just everyone comes off the court so happy.
Again, whether it's young or old, elderly, it doesn't matter. It's great exercise. It's fun. Anybody can just pick up a paddle, like I said, and hit the ball around and have a great time. So it appeals to the masses. And I think, as I mentioned, it's going to be, it's a collegiate sport now. It's going to be an exhibition in the Olympics. And so I think it's here to stay, and it's just going to keep growing and growing.
I love that. Okay, I have 3 quick fire questions for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
The first
I'm
one
so
is
nervous.
the first one is actually a bit of a selfish question because I am curious. Do you have a favorite pickleball paddle brand?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Besides Pickleball Athletic Clubs,
I didn't know you have your own paddles.
we do.
Yes,
But
yes.
that's being biased. My favorite is Yola. So I love the Yola products. We're partnering with them as well, but that's my favorite.
Aren't you going to be specific, Jeff? Mine is the Yola Generation 4 Genesis 16. I don't even know.
I just carry mine wherever I go. How about that?
Maybe it's the 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, Yola.
We have, we partnered. We have Yola. The best paddle is phenomenal. We've got some Selkirk. We've got Carbon. And when you get to that level of paddle, they're all very comparable. It just depends what works for you. Some are longer, some are wider, handles are shorter, but it just works for you. But they're all really great. But again, Yola, I think, is my favorite.
Do you like demo? Can people demo paddles? Kind of like when you go skiing, you can demo? Because I get made fun of on the courts because when I started, I just bought the cheapest Prince paddle from Target.
From Target.
I still use it because
we've all done that. We've all done that.
Used to it. But the amount of looks I get, and especially when people don't know me, apparently I didn't know this was a thing, but sometimes on those courts, they might avoid your paddle or not try to join your foursome because you've got a non.
They judge you as what you're saying. Oh, she's got that paddle. Okay.
Yes.
It's the nerve.
But doesn't that happen in every sport? That happens in every sport. You're going to have the judges.
So we've got pretty much all the paddles in our pro shop that you can purchase, also available to demo. So you come in, you point, you sign one out, and you give it a shot.
Okay. And that's really the only reason why I know anything about paddles is because when I go into play, I demo. I don't even have a bag or paddles because until I go to a tournament, which will happen, I just go to the club and just demo out all the paddles. I try them all.
So because Mekela uses all our stuff, now we have a secondhand pro shop store. So it's discounted.
Yeah, even like the leggings and shirts and everything. I'm like, okay, I'm done. All the merch.
Okay, so second question. Outside of PAC, have you found something that you enjoy doing out here in the Conejo Valley? Activity, restaurant, bar?
I go to Wood Ranch every chance I get.
We love Wood Ranch. Yeah.
But we also like, there's a really good restaurant. What is that one called, Jeff? Where we get the steak salad.
Where?
No, out there. Right next to Starbucks. You know it.
That one is
the barbecue
so
place.
I'm so bad with names. It's like an offshoot of Wood Ranch, but it's got the most amazing salads.
It is.
Oh gosh, what else
do we do out there?
Work? This is my home away from home.
I just eat, play, and work.
For like 12 hours. But we do like. I don't know what else we like. We like. I like the Home Depot out here. I'm there all the time.
Fair enough. I know. I mean, I know you guys are still early stages of this, so it's probably 24/7 dedication to.
Everyone's been so welcoming though in the Valley. We had the mayor here. He was thrilled, and just the feedback has been. It's been nice. It's been really nice. Been heartwarming, and again, the people that come in and enjoy themselves is just awesome to see. So
yeah. Okay, my last question for you all is, what is one piece of advice you would offer to first-time entrepreneurs?
I would say...
I mean, it's pretty simple for me, right? Just don't give up, right? So you have a great concept you believe in, you get people behind you that you trust, that have the same vision, and it's not going to be easy. Whether you're opening a small business or a large scale business, it's very difficult. But at the end of the day, you got to keep pushing forward is the advice. You want to quit, you want to pull your hair out many times, you want to scream, but just stick with it. Stick with it and see it to the end and be patient. It'll happen.
I like that, Jeff. That's very sound advice.
Thank you, Mekela.
I would say don't take things personally, because there's going to be things that come at you, whether it's contractors or city officials or other employees that you may not see eye to eye with, or owners, that you just need to put yourself in other people's shoes, understand that nothing is forever. You can get over this hump. It's just part of the process. And don't take it personally, because once you start taking things personally, you get in your head and then you react with too much emotion, and you're not going to complete the task at hand, right? So, just keep moving forward and know that it's all going to work out. I always say it's all going to work out,
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It works out.
And you hope you keep your limbs through it all.
We have.
Well, both very sound piece of advice. And yeah, it is working out.
This is for you. When you coming in, this is for you.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Have your demo paddle ready.
Yes, we got to get rid of that target paddle.
Let's go.
I know. We will. And once I get through this latest pulled muscle, I'm there. So hopefully in the next week and a half, I'll be back in my playing shape. And my problem is kind of what you mentioned, this group that played for 5.5 hours. I played for 6 hours. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how it happened.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden I've got a pulled muscle and I'm out for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to learn from my
Just
mistakes.
one more game. Just one more game. It's like, we have 7 minutes, just one more game. And then that goes over. Yes.
It's really such a weird phenomenon, but I can firsthand, vouch for that happened. So, but I will definitely be in there. And I appreciate both of y'all's time. Congratulations on opening Pack and having such a great reception so far. And I am sure that during these heat wave summer, it will only get even more attention and busy. And I can't wait to be a part of it.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us. And if anyone wants to get all our information or see, we have upcoming events, upcoming leagues, tournaments, ladders, they can go to our website, playatpack.com, and it's always updated. And we hope to see you here. Let's get on the courts.
Love it.
Yes.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Christina. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you for listening to Conejo Valley Visionaries. If you like today's episode, make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And don't forget to rate and review us. That's the best way to support the podcast. To enter our giveaways, learn about local events, and to find out more about each guest, follow at Conejo Valley Visionaries on Instagram. If you want to share your visionary story on the podcast, send us an email. We are always open to guest nominations. Email ConejoValleyVisionaries@gmail.com. This episode was produced by Christina Denstead and Justin K. Sloan. Conejo Valley Visionaries is edited by Justin K. Sloan and J. Sloan Productions. Don't miss your chance to snag your ticket to our first event at Neighborly in Westlake Village. Here's how. Follow at Conejo Valley Visionaries on Instagram and then send me a DM and mention Neighborly. And I'll send you the link that gets you early access to tickets before they are available to the general public. I look forward to seeing you this summer.